to another episode of Outcasts to Icons, and as always guys, if you are enjoying the series, please do drop a like on the video. Now, in our last episode, we beat, oh Christ, I can't even remember who it was, 4-1 on the final day of the season. Actually, I can't remember who it actually was. Was it? I was, Dusseldorf. Right, apologies for that, guys. I don't know why I forgot that. It was Dusseldorf. And we beat them 4-1 on the last day of the season, and it was a solid result. And I just wanted to try and build over the summer on that. Now, that's not been easy. And let me tell you that, because the financial difficulties this club is suffering from are pretty tremendous, in the sense that we got to the point, basically, where I could not offer any players new contracts because the club wouldn't let me offer them more than 250 quid. So that meant a lot of players that I didn't want to leave left, as well as the players that I kind of wanted to get rid of. But we have managed to sort out the finances a little bit. That being said, I've still basically not been able to spend any money on transfer fees, so I've really had to scour the free agent market, and even then I've not been able to pick up a great deal. My attempts at scouring the free agent market basically went me going on to scouting and then going on to expired and then just looking at the stars and having a look at some of the stats of some of the players, basically, because we really have, and then just trying to negotiate. I did have a little look through some of the young players, but we needed some first team quality, and I've really only been able to bring in 2 or 3 players that actually even fit that bill, and they're tenuous at best, basically. So let's just get into things. Let's just go into it. You're here for transfers. Let's talk about transfers. So, transfers wise, we've obviously, you can see a lot of players have gone out. Some players that I would have rather kept have left, and I was not able to offer them new contracts, which was a shame. So people like Latchko, although he was a pain in the arse anyway, Rurka, Abderrahmane I would have liked to have kept as well as a sort of backup striker. Haustenberg I was quite happy to get rid of because he was causing all kinds of problems for us, and a few that, you know, you don't really matter so much. The annoying ones to get rid of are, you know, Lehmann, Rursa and Weiss. Yeah, those I would have rather kept, but unfortunately they'd already signed contracts before we'd even joined the club. I can't believe Marvin Lehmann went for free. That's a joke. Just for free. I mean, that is a crazy amount of money, because he's just... Anyway, the other thing is the fans are pissed at me because they left, even though that I had nothing to do with that. That really should be a dynamic where the fans should be pissed at the board, not the manager that's come in after it's already happened. But I suppose it's just one of those things, isn't it? Anyway, let's talk about the players we have actually been able to bring in. Now, the only player I've actually signed for any actual money is Heinz Bader, which is an incredibly German name. He came up in my usual sort of scouting thing, so I've got one of my scouts doing the usual certain level of stars, potential, youngster, go for it. Now, the only reason we were able to get him really is because he was young, and he played for a team called Ulm, who were much lower than us, so we managed to get him just based on our reputation alone. He's nothing perfect, but I figured it was worth just a little punt on £7,000 just to bring him in and get some backup, because we do have some great youngsters at the club already, though. Now, onto the players. Oh, actually, we've got one more sort of like that. This one, this is Martin Seifert. Looks like he's got a decent amount of potential, though. He came through in the, you know, the German the trial day thing that you get every year. So I figured we'll give it a punt on him. He's nothing special, but he's got a bit of potential to turn into something, and he looks a little bit like Edward Adamenko with a beard, so you can't go wrong there. So yeah, he's joined us as well. Happy with that, relatively anyway. He's got some decent physicals. His jumping reach is a bit poor, but he's a fullback. Well, he can play fullback too, actually, which is quite useful. Now, onto the 3 players that are sort of, for me, first team quality. We're going to start off with Gjoko Todorovsky. Now, he's Australian, but he's actually Macedonian, if that makes sense. So yeah, he's a Macedonian player that plays for Australia. There's a lot of Croats and Macedonians, I believe, that actually play for Australia as well. People like Milijedenak, I believe, is the same kind of thing. There's a lot of that. But yeah, he has actually been capped twice for Australia. He's 23 years old, and he looks fairly pissing solid. He's on a free transfer again. This is just players floating around on the free transfer market. And obviously we had to pay a couple of $100,000 in terms of what's the word? Not loyalty bonus, signing on fees. And I was a little bit unsure of some of his stats. I can only assume that one of my scouts knew a little bit about him a while ago and it started to fade, or they just hadn't scouted him properly. I did send another one out to have a little look, but we didn't get a conclusive report, and I just kind of had to make a move on him in the end, and I'm pretty glad I did, actually. He's got some really solid stats. I'm probably going to use him more in the centre to be our sort of ball-winning midfielder in a way, although his marking isn't particularly great, neither is his tackling, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm still hoping that we could be successful with him in the team. If I wanted to move him forward, though, he can play both shadow striker and advanced playmaker, and those are happy things for me to be able to say. And I don't understand how he's only got 2.5 stars for that. He's phenomenal in that role, but there you go. I think that might be because he's only accomplished there. If we could get him natural in that position, which I intend to do this year, then he's going to be great for us and really boost our team up a little bit. Next up is probably my most exciting signing for me. This is Ryan Yako. Now, he's French, He was released by Marseille in the summer, and I just took a punt on him. He's on 12,000. He's probably the most expensive signing we made. Though Breno, the other one you're going to see, cost us more in terms of agent signing on fees. But Yako is actually going to be our starting striker this year. He scored a hat-trick in his first friendly appearance. But as you can see, apart from his passing, he's got very good stats for an advanced forward and potential in theory to become even better. Now, for a free signing for us to already be worth 2.6 million makes me pretty damn happy, if I'm honest. He's on a 3-year deal as well. So I'm hoping that he could be the man that could propel us to promotion this year. Now, that is a bit of an outside shot. The board are expecting me to come mid-table, and I did have an opportunity to raise that up, but I decided to just be careful because we have lost a lot of players. Now, we do have some great youngsters, so there is that as well, and they're going to get their chances this year. Believe me, they're going to have no choice but to get their chances this year. We also managed to get some money back just by moving around some of the squad bonuses. We played quite a few friendlies against small sides, but we were making around about 65,000 on each one, so the financial footing isn't as bad as it was, but it is still not brilliant, although the board are very, very pleased with the way I've handled the finances at the club. So provided we can guide them to a steady finish this year, and I want to see if we can have a little tilt at it, if we get the tactics right and get a little bit of luck. You never know, we might actually be able to get ourselves into the promotion race. That's sort of the way I'm looking at things. So that's Ryan Yako. Really happy with him. His passing could do with a bit of a train up though, which is fine. He's only 21. He's still got some room. Well, he's clearly got a lot of room to grow, or so my scouts certainly think. Let's just take a little gander at what they think about his paw in the air, which is not. He's got decent heading though. He's not exactly, his jumping reach is only 8, but he's not bad in the air. I wouldn't have thought he's that bad. He's certainly a lot better than some of the other players we've had. Let's see. Great pace, which is great. Ambitious, okay. Top speed. Couple of positions, good. Ambition, inability. I'm fairly happy with him. He's certainly our best striker currently, plus he's got room to grow, and that's what I'm most interested in. So let's get off of that. Finally, we have Breno. Now, Breno is a Brazilian. I believe he starts off at Fluminense, but he's been at Metallist for a little while, and was released. I don't know how, but he was released. Maybe they couldn't pay his wages. £18,000 a week is a lot of money, and it did cost us 500,000 in signing on fees, but I just couldn't not resist a bargain, but I couldn't resist the chance to pick him up. He is brilliant for a fullback. We've got two really quality fullbacks, because we've got Vucicevic on the left, and now we've got Breno on the right. It's great. And I'm really pleased with him. His match fitness is not great yet. He's only just signed. It took me like 2 or 3 weeks. I had to delay his transfer, and I was very fortunate, because at one point the board wouldn't let me sign anybody. We had £100,000 of wage budget available, and I was not allowed to spend a single penny of it. Not a single penny, because the way, what was it they were saying? Oh, that's right. They wouldn't let me adjust the budget to put any of it onto transfer funds. And as a result of not having any transfer funds, I couldn't offer any signing on fees, which means they could sign nobody. And obviously, when it's free transfers, they obviously want more than that. So we really did struggle for about 2 weeks. I was just thinking that we weren't going to be able to sign anybody. But thankfully, they lifted that when I got the squad bonuses moved around, and thankfully freed up like £1 million, which we just don't have. We've got like 900 grand left in our transfer fund, yet the board, the club itself only has 400,000 in the bank, and we owe 6 million in bank loans. So it's still nothing perfect, but I'm hoping that a good season for us, maybe a cup run, and doing the right things in the right areas could see us get ourselves on a more financially stable footing. I don't know, we were insecure, I believe, when we joined the club. I don't know what we're like now. Let's just have a quick gander, actually. We are okay. I'm happy to be okay. As you can see, £35,000 a week still available, but no way in hell I'm using that, because we can't afford to, basically. I'm thinking we might need to bring in a backup goalkeeper as well, though, at some stage. But only time will tell if that's going to be the case. Right, so let's jump straight into things. Why the hell not? So let's get straight into this. There's a few teams that have come up, of course. Hansa Rostock beat Paderborn in the playoffs, so they're now in this league. VfL Osnabrück, I believe, are also have come up from the third tier. Frankfurt, I don't know if it's both or just one of the Frankfurt teams that have come down. Obviously, we didn't play all the teams last year, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to who was there. Let's just do a quick pick. What? That makes no sense. There are no restrictions, so I haven't put any restrictions on you. That's really strange. Hang on, let me just... Team selection guidelines. Senior squad. So choose anyone, basically. I don't really understand that. Okay, but that's weird. So Breno isn't perfectly fit, but I want to give him his first appearance for us today. Yako scored a hat-trick on his debut for us, in a friendly, albeit, so I want to see if he's got what it takes. What I would say is that they all look relatively solid. We've not got a huge amount of injuries. Cashin is injured. Tom Casey and Dennis Rudolph, who looks like a really strong centre-back for us potentially for the future, is going to be out for quite some time, but he's sort of going to be our third or fourth choice when he comes back in. We are in a very, very dangerous situation though, where this is literally our strongest 11, and if we have to change that, we could end up with problems. So I'm praying to God that we don't get any injuries. That is desperate hope, that we don't get injuries, but only time will tell if that is actually going to be the case for us in this game. So as you can see, the tactic is, well, solid as a rock, which is good. We've been doing a lot of training on team cohesion just because of all the ins and outs at the club. We did a little bit on fitness, so we should all be relatively solid on that. A couple of players that came in a bit late, like Breno, hasn't really been fully up to match fitness yet, but everywhere else looked relatively solid. I mean, quite a few players are still here from last year. The only real differences are Breno, Todorovsky and Yako, and they've all slipped straight into the starting lineup, which is pleasing for me. So there we go. Let's just jump straight into it. Oh, right, we've got to give Breno his number, don't we? What number do you want? You could have number 2. I suppose that is a fullback number, so I'm actually quite glad we left that open. Right, let's go for this. We are the favourites, so I'd like to think that we can come up with something. Sorry, just checking. I did actually watch some of the friendlies earlier, because at one point we had like 45 shots and 25 of which were not off target, were long ranges, and I kind of wanted to see if that was probably because we were playing poorer quality opposition, and I think that was probably what happened. I think basically when you play against poor opposition with this tactic, it tends to... I really need to stop doing that. It tends to make us shoot from long range, but I think against better teams, like for example 1860 today, we should be okay. I would like to see a victory for us today. I really would. I feel like with the players that have come in, I would settle for a draw, provided we could get Ryan Yako to score a goal. I want to see him score on his debut today, just because it's the perfect way to start. You know, if he's going to lead the line, he's gone from basically being released by a French club to now having to lead the line for a German team like Hertha, so that's quite a big jump for him. Bojic, Yako, stepping inside, good finish. Oh, what a chance that was. That's ricocheted all over the place in there. I genuinely thought we'd scored. I thought Yako had got it, but we're looking good from set pieces there. Another thing about Breno is he's got good long throws. So on the right-hand side, we're going to try and exploit long throws a little bit as well, because we don't want him taking them on the left, because it will leave us all out, you know. And also, Todorovsky's not bad from corners, so that's good too. Kapushka, cutting inside here. Go on, have a shot. Weissenberger, it's in the back of the net. It's Weissenberger. Hertha Berlin won 1860-0, and we've been perfect to start this game. This is what we needed. You know, they were one of the better teams in this league last year, and we're looking really solid, despite having probably, I don't know, maybe overall a weaker squad. It's hard to tell. Kapushka there probably should have shot himself, but unselfishly slips it through for Weissenberger, and it's in the back of the net. 1-0 Hertha, an unlikely scorer, albeit, but we'll take it. Montero now with the corner, edge of the box to Bojic. Can he knock it round the side here? He can. Yako, what a lovely touch that is from Ryan Yako. Kapushka and Weissenberger very nearly had a second goal of the match. We've started this brilliantly. 1860 look very vulnerable from set pieces so far. 3 clear cuts, 3 half chances, dominating possession, and that's the start we needed. Oh, wow. Literally couldn't have asked for a worse thing to happen right there. Trying to think where our defence... I mean, Jesus. This, the one slight problem is we just haven't been able to bring in enough players to actually strengthen, give us a reasonable backbone. Todorovsky's going to play up top, and I'm going to bring in Kraus to play in the centre, just because he's... Actually, wait, no. Kraus is more of an advanced playmaker, isn't he? Yeah. Screw it, we're going to take a risk and bring Kraus in there and Kapushka, and swap those two over. So Kapushka, who I believe is fairly... He's quite a creative player as well, actually. But I think that might be the best approach for us to do right now. Hopefully Petar Bojic isn't out for too long, because we've started this game so well. Look at us from these sort of set-piece situations. And it's a penalty now. Chance to go 2-0 up. Lovely stuff. This has been the perfect start to the season. Todorovsky is going to take it for us. I really need to set up penalty takers. They're always on a separate page, and I always forget. But I think Todorovsky's got a decent penalty on him. He's good with a free kick and a corner, so in theory that means he's probably a dead ball specialist. Todorovsky 2-0 to Hertha, and that is his first goal for us. Gyoko Todorovsky, the Australian Macedonian. Good A. Welcome to the German second division. That did not have the ring that I expected it, but a good finish from Todorovsky, and we're 2 goals to the good now. Maybe this will be a better season than I expected, who knows, or maybe it's just a false dawn. Well, what I would say is the Christmas tree of doom. Look at this again. From these sort of throw-ins and set-piece situations, Yako now whips it in. Kapushka, and it's cleared. Yako will bring it down. He's going to have a shot, maybe? And it's another penalty. Ooh, that one looked more like a penalty, I have to say, although the first one didn't exactly look... Wow, Todorovsky's going to get a chance to score twice on his debut within about 10 minutes of each other, and we're going to have created 5 clear cuts and 4 half chances in the first half here. 1860 all over the place. He'll guarantee to miss this, though. Wow, he's not. Sorry, we always seem to see penalties in games. The second one is missed. And Todorowski now has 2 goals for us. Maybe he could be an absolute saviour. You know, penalties, corners, set pieces. Bringing someone in like him as well. He's a good midfielder, but also, as a dead ball specialist, he could really do us some favours. We're 3 goals to the good here. And maybe a little bit lucky. Hello, Todorowski's ball in. Jacko, oh, I thought he was going to get ahead of there. Ring now, out wide. Into Kraus on the edge of the area. Will he shoot? He does. It's 4-0 to Hertha Berlin. My goodness. Christopher Kraus, the youngster who's come off the bench here. And even with the substitution, mate, we're going top of the pissing league. It's been pointed out to me lately that I say pissing quite a lot. The reason I do it is because I find that I can still swear then, but just not quite as aggressively, and it's quite a satisfying word to say. Great finish there from Kraus there. Bottom corner. Lovely stuff. 4-0 at half-time. I don't think I've had on this entire save so far, I don't think we've had a 4-0 at half-time type of result. That is spectacular. I will take it. Assists have been kind of spread out, actually. Alexander Ring with 1, Kapushka, and Jacko getting an assist. So I'd like to see a little bit more of him in the second half, though he has clearly taken a bit of a knock. Unfortunately, options off the bench are a little bit light. A little bit thin on the ground for us at the moment. I might try and look at bringing in a couple more free transfers for the rest of this sort of transfer window, just to see if we can. But I just don't want to use too much of the club's money because I don't want to get us back in debt again. It is really tough. We're having to basically rely on tactics alone. And there's Christopher Kraus, and as usual, the substitute that you bring on for the player that gets injured. I'm noticing that quite a lot now. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have to put Todorowski into Kraus's position, and we're going to bring on Bayrak, who I'm pretty certain is a young... Yeah, he's come through our youth academy, and I'm pretty certain he's a decent player, so we're going to bring him on then. Let me see if I can remember. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. So we'll bring him on for Kraus. So Bayrak will play in the middle, and we've got Todorowski and Kapushka up top. Is Todorowski... I'm probably going to swap them over, actually. Give Todorowski a chance to complete his hat-trick if the chance comes. But first day of the season, and we're straight back to injuries again. They just seem unavoidable no matter what you do. We've tried everything in training to try and avoid injuries, and it just doesn't seem possible. Oh, hello. Todorowski's ball in. Montero, but it's come back to Todorowski. Does he fancy it? Bayrak. Todorowski. Just keep the ball moving. There you go. Whip it across. Go on, son. Ah, it's cleared. Ring's brought that down, but it's only gone as far as Julien. Kapushka. Bayrak. Number 62. Christ, he's low down in our squad order. Todorowski, it's a hat-trick for 4. Gyoko Todorowski, on his debut for us, has scored a hat-trick from midfield, albeit with 2 penalties. But do you think I care? That is such great composure. Bayrak here with a lovely little ball into him. But Todorowski takes 1 touch to set himself, and then another one to bend that around the goalkeeper for 5-0. Amazing start to the year. Biggest win I think we've had in a live com on this save, I think, is 5-2. So bear that in mind. We look like we're going to beat that. Have we got any more subs? I might just give Halkic the last few minutes of this game just because I don't want to get him in. I know that Weissenberger is not fit, but unfortunately we literally have no central defenders fit at the moment. Is an issue, but 5-0. And we've deserved it. You can't say we didn't deserve that. That is a superb performance. If we can keep a clean sheet, though, I'd be extra happy because looks like we're going to. But Todorowski, what an absolute legend he could be this season. If he carries on playing like that, dispatching the penalties, we've looked very dangerous from set pieces today. A lot of these highlights started with us either at throw-ins or at free kicks. There you go, 5-0, Hertha 5, 1860-0. What a result. Hat-trick for Gyoko Todorowski. And hey, maybe we're in for a better season than I thought we were. That is an incredible start to the year. The fans don't love me after that, then I don't know what I can do, frankly. That is just the perfect start. Yeah, the penalties were 6 minutes apart, but the fact that he was able to keep pushing there, we scored some cracking goals in that game. We look really, really dangerous. I am very, very pleased. So, let's see. I mean, it's difficult to tell at this stage who. Obviously, we've been drawn in the cup against Flensburg, but hopefully we should be able to rest a few players for that one. Although, frankly, with the team we've got, we may end up resting them through the force. Not through the force. The midichlorian count is fairly low on these guys. I've tested it. Their stats are around about 8 for midichlorian. Frankfurt, though, is probably going to be the one I'm going to pick. It's a reasonable length away. It's a home match, so we should be okay. Well, not should be okay, but we should have a slightly... I like to do home games just because I find that they're more exciting, and Yeah. But obviously, once we start getting into it, we know who we're playing. I'll just pick the ones against teams that are around us in the league. But at the moment, we won't know who that is. So we should have a better idea by the next episode. So, guys, if you like what you're seeing, please do drop a like on the video. And if you'd like to even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Outcast icons and From the Shadows in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And I'll see you guys in the next episode for a home match against Frankfurt. Hopefully, we can continue this wonderful form into that game. Oh, we've had some lovely, lovely wins lately. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.